I bought a house for myself and my family, called it a betrayal. My name is Anne. I'm 31 years old and a financial advisor at an investment firm in Seattle. I live simply, some might say rigidly. I don't show off, I hate waste, and I absolutely never spend beyond my means. My coworkers joke that I live inside a spreadsheet. They're not wrong, and I'm not offended. Every line item, every saved dollar is a stepping stone toward freedom. I've always known that if I didn't build a life for myself, no one else would. I'm the youngest of two. My sister Vanessa is 4 years older, and if my childhood were a quiet sketchbook tucked in a drawer, hers was a glittering photo album in the center of the room. Vanessa, with her golden hair and charm, was always the center of everything. I don't remember resenting it. It was just how things were. Birthdays, vacations, even Sunday dinners seemed like events organized around her light. She was the adored daughter, the one who always had more praise, more attention, more everything. And I learned to make do. Quietly. Vanessa married, young. Her husband, Nathan, is a civil engineer. They have 2 kids, Ellie and Brandon, and live in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Seattle. At every family gathering, Vanessa talks about how hard it is, raising kids, juggling bills, the noise, the rent, the city closing in. I never compare, but the contrast is obvious. I rent a small apartment in the suburbs, offered to me at a fraction of market rate by my best friend's parents, who trust me completely. I work remotely, drink tea by the window, and read finance books in the quiet. I don't have luxury, but I have peace. And I've spent 7 years building that, peace. No eating out more than 3 times a month. No unnecessary shopping. No credit card debt. No new car when the old one still runs. I hike instead of vacation. I track every dollar. Some call it extreme. I call it freedom. And recently, I finally reached the place I dreamed of, ready to buy a home, a modest one, just for me. Last week, after reviewing my housing, investment, and emergency funds, I knew I was ready. No guesswork, no maybe next year. I had the money, the plan, the confidence. Then came the storm. At our regular Sunday family dinner, barbecue, garlic bread, and stories about Ellie's math test, I made the mistake of smiling at a house listing on my phone. "What's making you smile like that?" Vanessa asked. I hesitated, then answered, "Honestly, I'm house hunting, planning to buy next month." The room froze. You'd think I'd announced I was moving to Mars. "Buying a house by yourself?" Mom asked, setting her fork down. "Yes," I said calmly. "I've been saving for years. I'm ready." Vanessa's eyebrows shot up. "I mean, that's great, but shouldn't you think ahead? A house shouldn't just be for one person forever." "Who else would I be buying it for?" I asked, half laughing. No one responded, but the glance shared between Mom and Vanessa sent a chill down my spine. Over the next few days, the messages started. Mom sent listings for large, family-friendly homes in suburban neighborhoods. Vanessa chimed in with details about school districts, backyard space, guest rooms. "You could host family weekends," she texted. "The kids would love it. And there's even a home office." I responded politely, "Thanks, but I'm looking for something smaller." Vanessa's reply was one word: "Why?" Then came a call from Mom. "There's a beautiful house on Maple Street. 4 bedrooms, backyard, balcony. You'll want space for when the kids visit." "Mom," I said gently, "I'm not buying a house for guests. I'm buying it for me." That's when the truth snapped into place like puzzle pieces. They weren't just suggesting homes. They were planning one. For themselves. I didn't say a word. Instead, I quietly signed the contract for a beautiful 2-bedroom wooden house nestled among pine trees in Everett. 45 minutes from the city, raised garden beds, a little greenhouse, birds in the morning, everything I wanted. That Saturday, I went to dinner with my family, planning to share the news. "I bought a house," I said, smiling. The silence was immediate. Then Vanessa spoke, stunned. "You already signed everything?" "Yes. Last week. I'm moving in at the end of the month," Mom gasped. "You made that decision on your own?" "You know we've been house hunting for you," Vanessa added. "The house on Maple, near the top school? Ellie and Brandon would have had their own rooms." I stared. "Wait, you were serious? You expected me to buy that house for all of you?" Dad finally spoke. "Anne, you're the only one financially stable. Helping each other is what families do." "No one asked if I was okay," I said. "No one even asked if I wanted that." Nathan mumbled, "I can fix up the place if it's the Maple house." I turned to Vanessa. "You planned a life for me and never thought to ask if I wanted it?" She shrugged. "You're my sister. You've always had it together. I'm struggling. I thought you'd understand." I stood up. "None of you asked what I want. You just assumed I'd give up everything I built for your comfort." Mom's voice cracked. "You're betraying us." "No," I said. "I'm finally choosing myself." That night, I returned home and sat in the dark, my phone buzzing with missed calls. "You need to come to your senses. This isn't a game. Don't let pride ruin everything." Then came Vanessa. "Are you really this heartless? My kids didn't do anything to deserve this." I stared at the messages. They called me selfish, for choosing my own peace, for not letting them rewrite my future. But in all the years I paid bills quietly, skipped luxuries, built my future. Brick by brick, had anyone ever asked what I wanted? Had anyone said, "Anne, are you happy?" They didn't see my sacrifices, only the result. And now that the fruit had ripened, they were ready to pick it. I bought that house for myself, and I won't apologize for that. Not because I don't love my family, but because I finally learned to love myself enough to stop setting myself on fire to keep everyone else warm. They thought I'd bend. They thought I'd break. Instead, I bloomed. One evening, while finishing a client's financial plan, my phone lit up with a message from Vanessa. "I'm looking for a new job. Not asking for anything. Just wanted to say, I'm managing on my own now. Thank you for not slamming the door shut." I didn't reply immediately. Instead, I looked up from my laptop and out into the garden. The moonlight spilled softly across the trellis, illuminating the herbs, the soil, the space I had created from scratch. Peace no longer felt like a rare luxury. It had become the quiet reward of choosing myself. A week later, an email arrived from HR. "We're reviewing candidates for the financial training program." One stood out. Vanessa Marks. She included a reference letter stating she had been guided by an independent advisor during her career transition. "That advisor is you." I froze. She hadn't called. She hadn't asked for help. She had moved forward on her own. And then I saw the quote she included from a post on my blog. "Everyone deserves a fresh start, but you have to take that first step on your own." She had been reading, quietly, learning, changing, and most of all, respecting the space I had drawn for myself. Later that evening, returning from book club, I noticed something fluttering on the wooden fence. It was a note, clipped with a tiny clothespin. "Aunt Anne, I helped Mom write her resume today. I think she's trying really hard, just like you. She still doesn't drink ginger tea the right way, but I'm teaching her. P.S. Did you plant more of the purple flowers? Love, Ellie." The handwriting was crooked and innocent. My chest tightened, not with pain, but with something gentler, something healing. No apology, no grand gesture. Just small human efforts that said, "We're trying." That night I sat, on the front steps, wrapped in a knit sweater, watching the wind dance through the trees. I didn't cry, but I felt something thaw inside me, like ice touched by the first rays of spring. None of us are perfect, but some of us are learning. Not to meet expectations, but to become who we're meant to be. 3 weeks later, Vanessa walked into the same office building I'd worked in for years, not as my shadow, but as her own person. She spotted me in the lobby. We didn't hug. We didn't pretend to be something we weren't. She simply nodded. And I nodded back. It wasn't closure. It was something better. Mutual respect. Her eyes said what words never could. Thank you for teaching me to knock first. That night, Liam stopped by again. A basket of oranges, a sprig of dried rosemary. No note, no questions. Just the quiet, steady presence of someone who never tried to fix me, just sat close enough for me to feel safe, should I ever choose to speak. I brewed tea, opened the window, and let the scent of soil, basil, and mountain air drift through the room. And I thought, I don't live to please anymore. I live to be honest, with myself. And the door to my life? It stays open, but only for those who knock with humility. Because sometimes the most beautiful endings aren't dramatic reunions or tearful goodbyes. They're the quiet, unspoken moments where you can look someone in the eye from across a garden or across a lifetime and feel nothing but peace. Anne's story is a powerful reminder that being family doesn't automatically mean being safe. Sometimes the people who raised us don't grow with us. True peace comes not from giving endlessly, but from learning to say no, drawing the line, and choosing a life that honors your truth. What do you think about Anne's decision? Was she protecting her peace or turning her back? Let us know in the comments, and follow for more heartfelt, honest stories about boundaries, healing, and the quiet strength it takes to choose yourself.